Hey everyone, it's Jason. So we have another Kingdom Rush Rift in Time video. Check out the video about the base set if you want an idea of what everything is. This is based off the tablet game, which is a tower defense game. So in that, we got special 3D tower expansion. This I believe was a Kickstarter exclusive. But with Lucky Duck, they usually resell the extra ones on their website. So if they made extra, so if you bought this game and you think you would like these, you can probably pick it up there at some point. It is not anywhere near a necessity. I got two lids for whatever reason. It's just a neat little add-on. I got two trays. Oh, that's fine, because there's two trays worth. Alright. So, what this is in the game, when you have your towers, right now, in the base set, you have little, like, plastic things you put down. It shows you where your towers are. Here, you can build these 3D towers. They have all these different colors. So you got 5 purple, 5 green, 4 red, or 3 red, or should be more of them. Nope. Apparently you get, so it must be 5, so like player 1 has to be purple, if you're, or purple or green, because they each have 5. If you're playing second, or 3 players, 1 of you will have to be yellow, and then if you're playing 5 players, 1 will have to be red. That's it, and there's a single thing. That's the only downside I would say to this, is I wish they would have made 5 of each, because then you could have picked whatever color you wanted, but they probably also correspond to the campaign scenarios. They probably have listed, if you're playing 1 player, they use this color, that color, so it probably makes sense that way. But yeah, here's the walls for them. So you can set the walls up on them. And then I'm just going to flip it over here. So this is kind of what they look like. They're little 3D things. Instead of having the little towers on the bottom, just laying down the thing, you place them up on top here. So not only does it look a little visually more cool, because their towers are sticking up a little bit higher, and you can really quickly tell which colors which for who's playing, as it also have the edge of the corners are open, so you can flick them out really quick. Like, oh, I gotta change out this card, you can just grab it and flip it out quick. But yeah, it's all as this is it's extra content to make it look neat, and they have little storage trays here. So once you've built them all, you put them in there, put your cover on, stick it on top, build the next one. So every time you want to play, like, oh, I just need to pull out these ones, you don't have to build them and unbuild them every time. I'm going to show off the other content that I got for the Kickstarter stuff, and then I'll add on to the end of this video with that, like, at least 1 or 2 of those built, so you can see what they look like. So here's the other Kickstarter upgrade pledge stuff. So we got a big giant poster. I'm not going to fold it out. It's just, I'm not going to go all the way out, but yeah, we got a couple of characters, like a king and a wizard fighting. Could be Vesnan and Gerard, maybe, or Gerald Lightseeker. So then what else is in here is we got a bunch of these little card storage trays. So this is for each of the base set heroes. You can put their special ability tokens in here, all their damage tokens, their character card in here, and then slap the cover on, and you can be like, alright, so if I'm playing as, you know, whoever, I got this. You know, if I'm playing as, you know, Malik or whatever, I can just grab the box and have all his tokens in here, and you don't have to sort them all out. All the expansions, the Spider Goddess and the 2 single expansions, all came with these, so it's kind of a little bit of a disappointment that the base game didn't, and that you had to buy a special extra Kickstarter set to get those. So I hope they release these, at least in some fashion, on their website. Then we have this special tray here. This is for all your towers. This is, again, just to make it quick and easy to play. You can have all your like level 4, level 3, level 2, level 1 towers sorted out. And that way when you're doing your quick exchanges, you don't have 20 piles sitting all over the table or have them stacked up you have to sort. The idea is you can shove this box out with this tray and just be like, okay, I need put tower 1 back, grab tower 2. A little bit quicker. Also came with some 3D crystals for your, buying and stuff. I don't know if that's enough crystals for everything you're going to have in the game, but it should probably be fine, because I think you're going to get them quick enough and then respend them. Other upgraded component got were these little miniatures. So these are your soldiers. So on the base set, they were meeples, and here you get little tiny soldiers you can put down. So they just take up 1 square on the board, but they'll stand a little bit nicer, that big thick base versus the meeples. Plus, then they kind of fall in line with all of the other characters. Again, these definitely not needed. You can use the little tokens, you can use the meeples that came with the base set. They're just extra flavor things. You don't need this tower or this tray here. But it's again, it's a little convenience thing. And then there's little hearts to keep track of your health. So you can put it on there and slide them aside, or put a heart on there to cover up when you taking a point of damage, or however you want to do it. There's plenty of different ones. This was another one of these things on the Kickstarter. I've seen other videos. There were some complaints about stuff. These are supposed to be red according to the video. They sent gray ones. Not that big of a deal. Whatever. They all work. You just put them on there. I kind of feel like if you use them as not as having 3 tokens out and you take them away, but if you put a gray health on there to cover up your red one, like, oh, my thing is dead. Either way. And then they kind of store in the bottom down here. And then they have the little tray that goes on top. So you can also put other things on there. Now, they have these in here, but the thing is, you're not going to get all 5 of them in here. So I don't really know what their game plan was here, because you can't get all 5 from the base set in here. So I'll have to see if they fit in the base game box, and they very well might, because in the base set box, there's a corrugated cardboard that sits like between like the tray and the top of the box to help fill up that gap. So if you can stick this in there, maybe even stick this tray in there to help fill up that gap, you can take out that cardboard. Now I don't really need this box. Also, there's also a bunch of gap in there right now. That's all the tile and token trays. Well, once those get sorted out, you wouldn't need those either. So that's what I have for these. I'm going to take a little quick pause. I'm going to fill up this tray, fill up that stuff, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. Everything's finished. Alright, see you in a minute. Alright, I have all of the towers built. There are 2 trays of them. So they're like that. And I will cover on them. Like all the other covers, I don't really stick on there. But again, if you have it in the box, not a big deal. So here's the 3D towers. My only issue with this entire thing, they didn't put any instructions on how to build these. Not that they were super hard. You pop this one piece out, you fold it a bit, and you stick it in the holes. But I feel like if you didn't know which way to bend it and you bent it the wrong direction, like gave this to a kid or something, or someone that's not familiar with building things like this, you might snap one of them off, and then this thing's completely useless. So it would have been nice if they would have at least, even if it, like, I don't need a full color, like, 6-page manual, just like a 1-sheet thing being like unfold this, and then, like, bend it inwards, or whatever. Again, not a huge deal, just, and that's most of, if I have any complaints about this entire game, like, not the gameplay, but, like, the boxes and all that, is it would be stuff like that. It's not make or break things. It's just little minor annoyances. All right. So what I wanted to do was show off. Move my camera up, and now you can see all my Marios in the back. So I condensed a bunch of my stuff, and I know that lots of people are asking, in the Kickstarter, they're getting their games, and they're asking, how do you condense all this? What do you do? How should you do it? And I don't think there's a correct answer. Is my 100% expertise on this, because one is going to debate if you bought the full pledge and you got the extra storage boxes and stuff, like the extra tray for the towers and everything, or if you bought the extra expansions or not. Like, if you just got the base game, then most of the stuff I think is going to have to go either get dumped in there, and you have to dig through all the tokens, or you have to get a bunch of little baggies, sort them out. But what I did was I took my base game. Actually, I think what I can do is even on the top here is I'm going to probably put both of these in there too. And then I'm going to put the, maybe put the tiles and the instructions, the big tiles and the instructions in another box. Just to condense one more box out of there. But I'll have to sell you that. So what I did was I then took the Kickstarter pledge tray. Let's back that guy up. So this is what came in the, I just showed up a little bit ago, the tray for holding all the different towers. And this is so that way, when I play the game, you can pull it out. Everyone needs to grab a tower. You got your level 1 towers, 2, 3, 4. I've added in the towers from the expansions, because normally there's 4 level 1s, 3 level 2s, 2 level 3s, and then there was 2 level 4s. But there's an additional 2 levels 4 in the Spider God expansion. So I added all them in there. Have my soldier meeples, my crystals. I put all my little spider polyominoes from the Spider Goddess set in this little tray, and the tree muck token in there. Just because that way, because everyone's in there where they're fragile, well, now they have their own little tray. But what I also did was, if I pull out all of my things, so these are my archery towers. I have all my archery polyominoes in here. So that way, if I want to play, if I need one of these, I could just, flip it up, grab my token out, or pick up the pile, grab it, and I don't have to sort through bags or dig through a giant pile. Just works really well. The only downside to it, really, is that some of these, they have, the single tiles, they can kind of just get tossed in there. That's not a problem. But because these cards are sitting there, so they don't slide all around, you need to sit at a slight angle. If I load them all the way up and they're laying flat, or fairly flat, if this gets tipped even a little bit, they're just all going to slide forward and mix together. This is kind of the downside there. Because even if you have this cover on, and you have something tight, there's still going to be a little bit of gap. And if they're laying flat, they're going to kind of slide together. And even still now, it might happen. The other issue that comes into is because of that, is you get some of these where you have to have a little bit of a gap at the front for the card to sit into. This is what the issue is right here. I touched these and they started tipping over, and now I have to sit there and fight to get them back to where I can be, because I can only stack them 4 tiles high is what I found. So if you take the extra little bit of time to just stack them all in there nice, like I have all of these guys, I have them angled like next to each other, and they're in little patterns. And if you stack them in there nice and you take the time to do that, they fit in there, it works perfectly. But then again, that might be people's preferences. Okay, it's nice to have them in there for convenience of play, but the time to sit there after after takedown of the game, you have to sit there and like remove all the tiles and make sure they're all in there properly. Versus, oh, here's a bag for those tiles, here's a bag for those tiles. Or buying a bunch of little tiny containers and being like, okay, I got an empty box, so I'm just gonna put them all in like a little container, and I can pull them out like that way. So it's a little give or take. But again, I'm using what I have available to me. I just kind of wanted to show that's also what the point was. Once we have our towers out, we can see how these 3D ones work. So what they do then is they lay on there like that. So that way, if you have to upgrade it or get rid of it for some reason, you can just lift it off really quick, or if you had to flip it over to show it was defeated, or whatever. It makes it easier than having it laying flat on the table, and then you're, trying to like get your nails under it, and you're gonna start denting the cards. So, I mean, personally, I think it's gonna be a really good purchase for the game, because I think it'll aesthetically make it look better. Plus, then, yeah, it'll help save on the wear and tear of the cards. Alright, now let's look at what else we have in the box. So then, the next thing I have are all of the stickers, and I have the map, which again I might put with the book, which if I stick all that in there, I should have room. So now we have our base set storage box. What I did though is I wanted to kind of condense stuff, and we have all the trays for the heroes, so I put all those in a separate box, because unfortunately, you can't fit enough of them in here on the top of this, otherwise they would have worked, because if you only had 4 characters, like for the base set, you probably could have fit all 4 in there. I'm gonna grab one quick. So, like, if you were just playing with the base set, you can only get 2 deep, like 2 across, and 1 like this. So, if you put the tray back in here, and you put all your boards back on top, the problem is trying to shove these in there. I think there's enough room to do, like, 2, you might just be able to get them in there if you stick nothing else in here. So, if you just have the base game, it would work. But if you bought the base game, you wouldn't have these cool trays. So you'd have the towers. And I think once you stick the towers in there on top of these, I don't think, and with all the other stuff, yeah, because these are just about the equivalent of 2 of the other trays. So you'd be able to get 4 of them in here, and your 5th hero would be sitting around, and you wouldn't know what to do with it. And then if you bought the expansions, and you had 4 more heroes, they're definitely not going to fit in there. So that's why I put them in a different box. And I'll show you that in a moment. So just kind of explaining why I did that. Tip this up. I have poor... Let me just move my camera and do it this way. So the other thing I did then was... This tray here was supposed to probably be for like your portal cards, your ability cards. Again, if you're just doing the base set, they all fit in there perfectly. And this is where you would have dumped all your tokens. If you had little baggies, you could fit them all in there. But again, if you have all the extra expansions, all that stuff, like even in the tiles here, I had the extra tiles from the Spider Goddess set that I got worked in there. That would have worked. What I did was I took out all of my large guys from the other expansions. And for now, they're just hanging out in this one box. Yeah, unfortunately, they wouldn't fit in here as well, because I would have stuck them in here and done something with the cards separately, but they wouldn't fit. And this isn't my permanent solution to have them in one of the other expansions. It's just the only way I could have all 4 of them together right now. I'll probably figure out something different. So I just have the other heroes sitting down here. What I kind of wanted to show you is this. This is one of my other nitpicks about this game. This is where the tiles are supposed to go. But look at this is such a pain to get these out, because there's no give, there's no finger holes or anything. So I kind of got like, maybe you can push them down if you're lucky. But if you drop these, like I did first time, I dropped these, I put these in first because I'm like, oh, it's obviously where the tiles go, they're that long. I had to pull the entire tray out to get to the last tile because there was no way I could get underneath it. And then before that, I was digging with one up, and that's going to bend your corners. So I wish they would have made like a finger gap or something in there to get in there. I don't know how you would have made one that deep, or had like a 3/4 of this be like solid and have a little pocket so you could dip it down. I don't know. That's just my thought. So here's all my character reference cards. Here's all my... So I can kind of push this down a bit. There's all my other tiles. And then here's all my portal cards. And again, I'm not in love with this setup necessarily. And I do rebox a lot of my games that I own. But this one becomes a little bit harder because it's not just like Marvel Champions or Marvel Legendary or something like that. It's all card games, or even like Power Rangers, or like Power Rangers where it's, you know, here's a bunch of minis I can put somewhere, and then the rest is cards, and there's a couple of boards. Like I have one case for the boards. Same thing with my Ninja Turtle games. I have like one tray. Like one tray for like 1 or 2 electric cases I made aside for all my boards and stuff. But yeah, that doesn't work for something like this where there's, you know, where do you put all the miniatures within the boards and then this and that, and like, you know, I'll figure out something, but that's kind of how everything fits in these boxes. I'm going to set this back down for a moment. The only thing you gotta watch when you're putting this tray in is you want to almost lean it towards you and then go. If you lean it the other way, those things might slide. And then yeah, now my towers should fit in here. And you could do the other way and stick the towers in first. If I do that, I should be able to just squeaker my top back on. Voila, that is all of that. And I got all my big heroes in that box. So what I did was I took my Spider Goddess set, and that's where I threw all these guys in. So like right now I can get them all in there, and I should be able to, you know, set all my boards and instruction manuals on top. So I'll be down to 3 boxes, but I mean it didn't get rid of a ton. It got rid of the generic white box, the 3D tower box, and 1 expansion box. But if I decide to do something different with the miniatures, I'll take them out of this tray, and I'll probably get like, maybe I'll keep this box, the big box here, and I'll put like extra storage cases or something, or maybe like a trading card box to put all my portal cards in, and get rid of all the extra plastic that's wasting so much room. I know a lot of people have said that, like they just tossed all the inserts and redid it. And I'm definitely someone that does that with a lot of my games. So the other thing I wanted to just show off is the neat part about these trays here. So, like I said when I was watching the one video, they used to have in the Kickstarter, the one side had the picture on the front. I just threw the reference card in the front. You need it anyhow to play as a character. You set it in front, you can quickly tell what the character is, you know. Not a big deal. Then you have your card, and then this is what's nice. So here's all his different polyominoes that he needs. Here's all his little reference. And like right here, like easy enough, there's a little finger hole. That's just what they needed for all the rest of them. And you know, you could, in this one, they have the little finger hole on this side. And that works really well for all of these different characters. So even like, where is Viznan? Because he has a little bit more things than everybody else. So he's got a bunch of the different size tiles, because he's got some of the square ones, he's got some of these guys. But yeah, everything fits in there, and you just drop that, do that, and voila. And then, with the way it fits in there, I mean, again, I'm not super in love with this where they can slide around, but again, I mean, if you're traveling with these games, or you're someone that has to stack games horizontally versus laying them down like the box like this, then you're gonna have to find different solutions. Because yeah, these aren't gonna hold for you. I mean, you could always just grab a rubber band, throw a rubber band, like 2 rubber bands around this. But being this is just plastic here, it might start to warp it. I also kind of look at something like this as if they release more expansions, if I find a different solution for my boards and stuff, like in a box of this size, I could get, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2, 6, 7 more characters in here easily. It's just kind of cool. Not gonna have to worry about that many more expansions coming out anytime soon. Alright, so I'm gonna stick those guys back in there. Close that up. And that is our Kingdom Rush. So I got it down to 3 gigantic boxes. Again, not probably what I'll stick to. I've condensed lots of the games. If I feel like I'm going to play them a decent amount, I'll usually try and condense all the components all the way down, just to make them easier to access and to play. I'd rather have, even if it's, again, for me, it's not necessarily like I have to have everything into one box. I know it's some people, like, I just want this one box. It's all I want. And I realize you start buying 3, 4 expansions, you can't get everything into the base game. They don't design them like that. So I usually buy stuff for more convenience. Like I referenced my Ninja Turtles, they have big giant playmats kind of like this, like big boards. So I have like a little carrying tray that's just for my playmats. And I have another one that has all the instructions and all the little tokens and everything in. And I have a separate box for all the cards. So if I want the cards, I can dig through, find my hero cards, find my villain cards, and then I pull up my trays if I need to dig through them. I'm only digging through the trays and not digging through, 6 boxes are like this. We have to pull out, and that's what kind of sucks about throwing everything in one box. Alright, that's what I got. Hope you guys check out all the other videos. Keep checking out the rest of my stuff. See you guys later. Bye.